Outreach and admissions is very different from the rest of Job Corps in the way that it is overseen only by the Department of Labor. This means that outreach and admissions is probably the least corrupt part of Job Corps, or at least the Treasure Island Job Corps anyways. The job of outreach and admissions is basically to recruit new trainees from the surrounding areas. Because they are to reach mostly only the surrounding area, each Job Corps center is in charge of certain areas of the country. For example, Treasure Island Job Corps is responsible for recruiting new trainees mostly from the Bay Area and close surrounding areas. On rare occasions though, Job Corps centers will get new trainees from areas that they do not intentionally reach out to for new trainees. Such places that I have known about are the southern part of California, as well as the Central Valley. I myself am from the Central Valley and chose this Job Corps only because my best friend had recommended it at the time. Little did I know at that time just how corrupt Job Corps is. The Job Corps that is responsible for the Central Valley, as well as Northern California for the most part, is the Sacramento Job Corps. So when it comes to outreach and admissions, their goal is to recruit new trainees, and they do so through advertising, which I have somewhat discussed. And after advertising Job Corps, they begin the acceptance process of new trainees, in which people interested in joining the Job Corps program must call to schedule an orientation and then attend the required orientations. To finish discussing the advertising process, I would like to mention the new Job Corps street team that the Treasure Island Job Corps has started. What the street team is, it's essentially a group of trainees that spend some of their time helping outreach and admissions with reaching people outside of Job Corps in order to recruit more trainees. Currently, I'm a member of the Job Corps street team, so if you're watching this, you may see me in the Bay Area with a street team shirt on advertising Job Corps. At some point in the future, though, I will be quitting the street team. I haven't decided whether that'll be while I'm in Job Corps or once I leave, though. Anyway, one of the reasons why I'm on the street team is because I find the idea of the street team to be very fascinating, especially because of how hush-hush Job Corps staff seems to be about what goes on around here, and the fact that the street team is made up mostly of trainees who are not so much hush-hush about everything that goes on around Job Corps. Another reason I found the street team to be interesting is because when the idea was first proposed, the center director was against the idea and tried to shrug it off, but thankfully the outreach and admissions staff was persistent. You see, the center director is not in charge of outreach and admissions, so if they want to do something, they don't necessarily need her permission to do so, but in good faith decided to ask for her blessing for it. Anyways, to move on to the orientations, both the orientations and the advertising unfortunately give false information to newcomers. This may be intentional or unintentional, but I feel that it is intentional because they always seem like they're only just trying to get new trainees and not actually help people improve their lives. There is a common misconception of Job Corps that not only the public, but some of the staff have also as well about Job Corps, but I'll talk about that in another vlog. So some of the things that staff will tell you in order to get you to join Job Corps is the basic information that you need to know, such as the fact that there is a curfew, you do have to do chores on a regular basis, as well as an emphasis on following rules. Beyond this, they only mostly feed you positive information about Job Corps, which some of it may be incorrect. Some of the positive information includes, but is not limited to, the exit check you're supposed to receive when you leave, the fact that you get a free roof over your head, 3 meals a day, place to sleep, life skills that you will be able to use when you finish Job Corps, as well as other things. One of the biggest incorrect pieces of information, even to this day, is the amount that you will get in your exit check. When I came to Job Corps, they told us that if you complete high school here and finish your trade, you will get a check for $1,200 when you finish the entire program and leave. This was incorrect, even at that time. They were supposed to tell me that I'd get $1,000. Now it's even less, and they've decreased it to $800. In the future, it may become even less, to the point that eventually you only leave here with the things that you came with. From what I've been told by some trainees that have finished the program, they still have not even received their exit check to this day. I was also told at my orientation that our bi-weekly pay that they give us would be increased every 2 months or so, which was also a lie. You start out receiving $23.01 after taxes, and it only increases after you've been here for 6 months. But they told me that it increases rather often, way more than it actually does, and I was told that it could even get up to $50, which is also a lie. The most it can get to is $32 after taxes. So when it comes to talking about Job Corps, staff here at Job Corps like to try to filter what the public hears and sees what Job Corps is about. They tend to only give positive information, like how Job Corps will supposedly help you find a job and get a career. In this way, they misinform the public into thinking that Job Corps isn't a horrible place when it actually often is. Now, once you actually finish the orientation and interview process, they will provide you with an entrance date to Job Corps, which is normally on a Monday. And that Monday is the first day you start your week 1 of Job Corps in Mr. Rice's class. Now, getting into Treasure Island Job Corps is somewhat easy, definitely easier than staying here. What you'll need is some sort of proof that you're either homeless, being supported by a government program, or proof that you have a disability. In addition to that, there are also other requirements which may or may not be subject to change, but I will add it in this video if I still have that list that they gave me at my orientation. The most important factor is that you are somehow homeless, relying on the government, or disabled. In addition to this though, there are some other requirements such as currently not doing drugs or alcohol, not currently holding a job, and being able to show up on time for your interviews and orientations. Another requirement is being able to adhere to the dress code. Especially do not break the dress code when going to your interview, as that will be a deal breaker. If you do not dress professionally, they will think you're not ready for Job Corps. So the order in which you will do everything, as far as applying to Job Corps goes, is first you'll go to the basic orientation, which you will have the information about if you call them for the information at 415-277-2400, which is the Job Corps number that you can call whenever you need information about Job Corps. Then at that orientation, they will give you a list of paperwork and documents that you'll need to bring to your next orientation. And the next orientation, if I remember correctly, is basically practicing some life skills where you receive a certificate, and that is when you should turn in your paperwork. They will also schedule that orientation with you ahead of time, as well as schedule your interview with you either on the date of that orientation or over the phone. Then at your interview, you're going to want to make sure that you dress very professionally as well as act professionally. They will mostly ask you questions about your habits with drugs, alcohol, violence, and following the rules. These are rather simple questions, much unlike a real interview. They will likely tell you that the next step is to schedule a pre-arrival orientation, which they will work with you to schedule that. At the pre-arrival orientation, they will show you around the Job Corps campus, and after that they tell you to call Ms. Jackson repeatedly to schedule an entrance date, which you will have to be very persistent with this, and once you've called her for the entrance date, you will be pretty much set. Hey, thanks for watching. Just something you might find interesting, this was originally recorded on June 9th, 2015. If you like this video, feel free to like, and if you would like to see more in the future, feel free to subscribe.